Dear students, in this video we will see that how strong are acid or base solution.
In our previous section, we saw that on dilution, there is a decrease in the concentration of H plus or OH minus ions in the solution. It means that how strong is an acid or a base is, this depends on the number of H plus ions or OH minus ions present in that solution. So, to determine the strength of an acid or a base, we have to quantitatively find out the amount of ions present in the solution. For that purpose, a scale for measuring hydrogen ion concentration in a solution called pH scale has been developed. The P in pH, as you can see here, that P is small letter, H is capital. So, P in pH stands for potens in German, which means power. So, on the pH scale, we can measure pH generally from 0 to 14, in which 0 indicates very acidic and 14 indicates very alkaline. Okay. You can see a pH scale here. In this, you can see that we can read from 0 to 14, and there is in the middle, at the midpoint, there is 7, which shows the neutral. So, on the pH scale, if the value is less than 7, it indicates acidic nature of a solution, and if the pH value is more than 7, it indicates the basic nature of a solution. So, as we move from 7 towards 0, it means when the numbers are decreasing on the pH scale, the acidic nature of the solution increases. In the same way, when the value on pH scale increases from 7 towards 14, the basic nature of the solution increases. So, if any solution is having the pH values 14, it means it is very strong base, and if a solution is having a value pH value near 0 or it is 1, 2, it means that it is a strong acid. Now students, you must be thinking about how to measure the pH of any solution. So, to measure the pH of a solution, we generally use a pH paper. Okay, here you can see a pH paper, and pH paper gives a particular color with a solution of particular pH. The color is compared with a chart which has different colors at different pH values. So, here you can see that pH of some common substances on a pH paper has been shown here. You can see that that gastric juice have pH value about 1.2, lemon juice has pH value about 2.2, pure water and blood has a pH value equal to 7.4, milk of magnesia have pH value equal to 10, and sodium hydroxide, which is a very strong base, and it has pH value. Now move on to our next section, that is importance of pH in everyday life. So, first of all, we will see that are plants and animals pH sensitive? So, as you can see here that our body works within a pH range of 14 to 7 to 7.8. Okay, and living organisms can survive only in a narrow range of pH change. When pH of rain water is less than 5.6, it is called acid rain. Here you can say that acid rain has a pH value less than 5.6 and it becomes acidic, and when this acid rain flows into the rivers, it lowers the pH of the river water. The survival of aquatic life in such rivers become very difficult. pH in our digestive system. It is very interesting to note that our stomach produces hydrochloric acid. As you seen here that gastric juice has pH value of 1.2, but it helps in the digestion of food without harming the stomach. So what happens during the digestion? The stomach produces too much acid that causes the pain and irritation, and which is called acidity. So to get rid of the acidity, people use antacids. Here note that antacids are taken to neutralize the excess of acid produced in our stomach, and for that purpose we use milk of magnesia. Okay, that is called magnesium hydroxide is called milk of magnesia, and it is mild base and it is often taken as antacid. So as an antacid we use mild bases to neutralize the excess of acid present in our stomach. Now pH change as the cause of tooth decay. As you can say that when the pH of the mouth is lower than 5.5, it means that when it becomes acidic, more acidic, tooth enamel, which is made up of calcium, it is hydroxyapatite, that is made up of calcium hydroxyapatite. It is a crystalline form of calcium phosphate. It is actually crystalline form of calcium phosphate, and which is the hardest substance in our body. So you have to remember that our tooth enamel, which is made up of crystalline form of calcium phosphate, it is the hardest substance in body, and but when the pH value lowers than the becomes lower than the 5.5, then it becomes then bacteria present in the mouth produce acids by degradation of the sugar and food particles remaining in the mouth after eating. The best way to prevent this is to clean the mouth after eating food. So why do we use toothpaste? So toothpastes generally are basic in nature. So you have to remember that our toothpastes that we use to brush our teeth, they are basic in nature, and when we brush and cleanse our teeth, the toothpaste neutralizes the excess acid produced by the action of bacteria on the food particles, and it neutralizes the acids produced, and it prevents the tooth decay. Now self defense by animals and plants through chemical warfare. So as you know that bee sting leaves an acid. Okay, when any bee stings any human being, it leaves an acid, okay, and which causes pain and irritation. But when you use a mild base like baking soda on the stung area, we get very much relief. In the same way, stinging hair of nettle is a plant, and its leaves have stinging hairs, and they inject methanoic acid, causing burning and pain. Here in this table 2.3 you can see that some natural sources of acids like vinegar contains acetic acid, orange contains citric acid, tamarind जिसको हम इमली कहते हैं it contains tartaric acid, tomato contains oxalic acid. In the same way, sour milk or curd, it has lactic acid, lemon citric acid, ant sting has methanoic acid, and nettle sting have also methanoic acid. Now in next section we will study more about salts. Salts of strong acid and strong base are neutral with pH value 7. As you know that neutral solutions have pH value 7. On the other hand, salts of strong acid and weak base are acidic with pH value less than 7, and those of strong base and weak acid are basic in nature with pH value more than 7. So, there are 3 types of salts depending on the pH value. Some are neutral, some are acidic in nature, and some are basic in nature. Okay. Now, we will see the chemicals from common salt. So, as you know that sodium chloride NaCl is the common salt that we use on in our kitchen to make our food tasty, and these are obtained from the sea water. Okay, they are present in a large amount in the sea water, and deposits of solid salts are also found in several parts of the world. These large crystals are often brown due to impurities. They are brown due to impurities, but these are called rock salts. Okay. Now we will see that this common salt, that is sodium chloride, that we use in our kitchen is a raw material for various chemicals. So here you can say that, see that common salts thus obtained is an important raw material for various materials of daily use such as sodium hydroxide, baking soda, washing soda, bleaching powder, and many more materials of daily use are obtained with the help of common salt. First of all, we will see how we can obtain sodium hydroxide by the common salt. Now here you can see in this equation that sodium chloride aqueous solution in water, it gives the sodium hydroxide plus chlorine plus hydrogen gas. Here when electricity is passed through an aqueous solution of sodium chloride, so here you can see that brine. Brine is the aqueous solution of sodium chloride. So when electricity passes through a brine, it decomposes to form sodium hydroxide. And here you can see in the equation when electricity is passed here you can see in this picture also that this is the sodium chloride aqueous solution, and here is the anode and cathode, and two electrodes are here. When electricity passes, then at anode chlorine gas is evolved, at cathode hydrogen gas is evolved, and here brine containing sodium hydroxide is collected here, and here brine is injected, it is entering from here. So it is connected with a battery. So when switch is on, these three components, three products, sodium hydroxide, chlorine gas and hydrogen gas are formed, and this process is called alkali process. Okay, you have to remember that this process in which brine is brine, when electricity passes through the brine, this solution is called brine. Then sodium hydroxide and chlorine gas and hydrogen gas is formed. This reaction is called chloralkali reaction. Now we will see the bleaching powder, formation of bleaching powder. So this is CaOCl2. This is the chemical formula of bleaching powder, calcium oxychloride, and this is formed with the help of calcium hydroxide plus chlorine gas, which gives CaOCl2 plus H2O. Now we will see the some uses of the bleaching powder. So for bleaching cotton and linen in the textile industry, for bleaching wood pulp in paper factories, and for bleaching washed clothes in laundry. Second, as an oxidizing agent in many chemical industries, and to make drinking water free from germs. Now we will move towards the towards the baking soda. So baking soda is commonly used in kitchen for making tasty crispy pakoras. So whenever there is a talk of the crispy pakoras for and then you should remember that for making crispy pakoras we use baking soda or sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate. Okay, so it is produced by the using sodium chloride as one of the raw materials. So here sodium chloride plus H2O plus CO2 plus ammonia NH3, it gives ammonium chloride plus baking soda or NaHCO3. Okay, now the pH of sodium hydrogen carbonate is basic. Actually it is basic in nature, it is a mild base, so it must be more than 7. And now following reaction takes place when while cooking the pakoras. Sodium hydrogen carbonate, when it is heated, sodium carbonate plus water plus carbon dioxide is generated, and sodium hydrogen carbonate has got various uses in household. Now we will see the uses of baking soda for making baking powder. So baking soda is used to make the baking powder, in which a mixture of baking soda and a mild edible acid such as tartaric acid is reacted together, and when baking powder is heated or mixed in water, this reaction takes place. Okay, sodium hydrogen carbonate and H plus ion from any acid like tartaric acid, this gives CO2 plus H2O plus sodium salt of acid. Okay, now carbon dioxide gas produced during the reaction can cause bread or cake to rise, making them soft and spongy. Now second, sodium hydrogen carbonate is also an ingredient in antacids. It also it is sodium hydrogen carbonate means sodium bicarbonate. It is an ingredient of antacids, and because they are alkaline. And also third, it is also used in soda acid fire extinguishers. You have to note that these are used in soda acid fire extinguishers. Next salt is washing soda. Its formula is Na2CO3 10H2O. It is formed by the reaction of sodium carbonate with water, which gives Na2CO3 dot 10H. Now we will see the uses of washing soda. So sodium carbonate is used in glass, soap and paper industry. It is used in the manufacture of sodium compounds such as borax. Sodium carbonate can be used as a cleaning agent for domestic purposes, and it is used for removing permanent hardness of water. Now we will see that water of crystallization. What is water of crystallization? So, it is a fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt. Okay. As you seen earlier that washing soda, as you seen here, that washing soda contains Na2CO3 dot 10H2O. So, here 10H2O molecules are water of crystallization. So, other salts like also copper sulfate, it has 5 water molecules, it has have 5 molecules of water of crystallization. In the same way, we see the plaster of Paris. On heating gypsum at 373 Kelvin, it loses water molecules and becomes calcium sulfate hemihydrate, that is CaSO4 half H2O, and this is called plaster of Paris. Here plaster of Paris, and this is the reaction by which plaster of Paris is reacting when we add water with plaster of Paris, it becomes again changes into gypsum and it becomes very hard.